Thanks for joining me today. This is Julie Golding-Page, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in St. Stephen, New Brunswick, Canada, along the Scoodic or St. Croix River, the traditional territory of the Passamaquoddy. And I'm grateful that they share this beautiful place with us. So today I have some really great news for you. There is a huge sale happening today. And so I'd like to tell you about that. I also have a special on to get a free card class. And so why don't we just get right to it, and then after the news I will proceed with our project of the day, which uses the Sweet Citrus bundle and some retiring colors that you'll now be able to get right before they disappear. Okay, so I'm just going to flip my phone and we'll continue. All right, so let me just get this hooked up here properly. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, there is a free card class on offer right now. I have a offer through April 6th, so that's through the end of Thursday. And if you use this host code, when you order with me through Stampin' Up!, I will give you a free card class by mail. So it'll include the supplies for 3 different cards, and I'll give you the instructions as well. And if you want to find out more, or if you want to order, you can just go to juliescraftaddict.com. I have a free tutorial bundle icon just on the right of the screen there, and just click on that and it'll take you right to my Stampin' Up! Website, and the host code is already added for you. So it's all set up for you. You don't even have to worry about it. If you need some help entering the host code, if you go straight to stampinup.ca and select me as your demonstrator, I can also help you out with this code. After today's video, before lunchtime Atlantic time, so around 1 or 1:30, I'd say Atlantic time today, I will have the shopping link right in this post. So you won't have to even go to my website or anything to find it. I'll put it right there. So again, a free card class on offer when you order with me through April 6th, or when you sign up for one of my classes as well. So I have a simple stamping class happening, and also this one here, which is Rhino Ready. So this is the Rhino Ready class, and we're going to be doing 4 cards. It's part of a club if you wish to be a member of the club. After you're a member of the club for 6 months in a row, and you can track that with my little club tracker that I'll send you, you will be eligible to get $25 off your next order with me. So all the details are in the club post on my blog, and I can direct you to that if you need it. But that's a really cute bundle, the Rhino Ready bundle. And also there is a simple stamping class. It's suitable for beginners or avid crafters alike who just want a relaxing evening. We're going to be making 3 cards, and we're going to use the sentiments from this stamp set, which is called Something Fancy. Okay, so all of that, you can find the details on juliescraftaddict.com and see sneak peeks of the cards as well. But the exciting news today is this up to 60% off with the last chance products sale. So we have 2 catalogs that are retiring right now, the annual catalog and the spring mini catalog. So there's tons and tons of items that are going away and saying goodbye forever, and many are on big discount as well. So you can have a look at that, and I will show you some of the retiring items here right now. So we have some beautiful bundles that are retiring. So this cup of tea bundle and the dies, so they're all retiring. Very lovely. I think some people will want to be getting that one. Cheerful Basket is another bundle that's going to be going away forever and saying goodbye. This one is perfect for this time of year, the Flowering Tulips bundle. Look at that. And the beautiful dies. And then there are some single stamp sets as well, like this one, Adventurous Journey. My husband's a kayaker, and so I'm really fond of this particular stamp set. You can do all kinds of fun stuff with it. There's the usual assortment of retiring ribbons and so on. Here are a few of them. So this is the Polished Pink in color open weave ribbon. This is the Window Pane Check Evergreen Evening Evergreen window pane check ribbon. And this one is called, I always forget the name, it is Natural Finish ribbon, and it's 7/8 of an inch wide, so you can see it's quite substantial, so you could use that for all kinds of different things. We also have some beautiful papers that are retiring. This one is Seaside Bay, or I think it's called By the Bay. Anyways, whatever it's called, I can't remember the name. Maybe somebody can let me know in the comments. But anyways, this paper is retiring, and it's so beautiful. It's got iridescent details and gold details. And also this lovely Tea Boutique paper. Look at that. It's so nice. And then the backs are really lovely as well. So these are all retiring. And the other thing that's retiring right now is a whole lot of colors. So look at all these colors that are going away. So Bermuda Bay, Soft Suede, Mint Macaron. This one, so Saffron, Mary Merlot, Blushing Bride, Pacific Point, Pear Pizzazz, Pale Papaya, so many, look. Mango Melody, Evening Evergreen, Soft Succulent, Polished Pink, and then these two that I only have the small Stampin' spots for, Sahara Sand and Rich Razzleberry. So everything associated with these colors is now retiring and going away. So you'll find a lot of discounted items in these particular colors. And I'm going to be using a few of them here today. So I'm going to be using Mango Melody, Pear Pizzazz, and my other color is hidden underneath these guys now, Pale Papaya. So that's our color palette for today. Okay, so once again, we've got this huge sale on today. I suspect that a lot of things will sell out in short order, especially as people try to get all of these color products, which includes inks, ink pads, cardstocks, the Stampin' Up! Markers like this. Here's the Soft Suede. Here's a pack of Bermuda Bay cardstock, and these are all saying goodbye because the colors are retiring. So lots and lots of bargains to be had on the sale today. It's called the Last Chance Sale. If you need more information, just send me a note, and I'll have a link to shop a little bit later after I finish this post today. So once again, we're going to be using Pale Papaya, Mango Melody, and Pear Pizzazz today. And for some reason, I cannot see comments here, guys. So I'm not sure why, but anyways, I'm not able to see the comments if anybody's making any. Okay, sorry about that technical glitch here with my phone. It's always different every time we do a Facebook Live, and I'm never sure what I'm going to meet next. So bear with me till I get this straightened out here, guys. And we will get right to our project. So we have all these colors that we're going to use, and this is the project we're going to be doing today. So it uses all retiring colors that you will no longer be able to get soon. And we're also using this lovely set, Sweet Citrus, which is actually a bundle, the Sweet Citrus bundle. And I've been blogging about this bundle, making all kinds of citrus fruits the last few days. I've done limes, lemons, blood oranges, and grapefruit. So today we're going to actually do oranges. So actually oranges instead of the red blood oranges. So let's get to our project. And I'm just going to get a cardboard here. So my cardboard is well loved, but that's okay. So you just need a piece of cardboard underneath your stamp set, because this is a photopolymer stamp set. It does not come with a built-in cushion, so you have to provide one, but just a piece of cardboard like this out of a kit or out of a calendar or something will do just fine. And let's start by actually stamping. I always like to stamp first and then know that I can move the ink out of the way and not get it over myself or my project. So what I found helpful is to take this largest stamp and stamp the outlines of our fruit first. So I've got a piece of paper here I'm going to use, and I'm going to be using this large block from Stampin' Up. You can see that. And this is block E that I'm using. And these stamps just fit exactly on block E. So I'm just going to stick them on there right now. There we go. And what I did to stamp this was to put the pale papaya on the outside. Oh, and I meant to tell you, this is a bookbinding fold card. So you can see it opens kind of like a handmade book. And so I'll show you what to do to make that as well. Okay, let's see if I can see the comments. I'm not seeing anything, so I'm sorry if you're commenting and I'm not saying anything. I apologize. Sometimes these things just don't show up for whatever reason. But I'll look at them after the broadcast today. Okay, so I'm going to tap this on and just get the outline ready. So this is Pale Papaya. That's been one of our in colors from 2021 to 2023, but it is disappearing very soon. And I'm just going to stamp it this way so I have room to stamp the leaves as well. So with a big stamp like this, I find standing right over top of it and pressing down pretty hard all over the stamp for a few seconds is helpful so that you get that even pressure and then you get a good image as a result. Okay, that turned out very nicely. All right, so I'm just going to clean up my stamp right away in my stamp chamois. You can see my stamp chamois here. It's very well loved, but it still works just great. I love that you just need to add water. You don't need any chemicals, and you can use it over and over again, which is perfect. Okay, so the next one I'm going to put on for a stamp is the centers. You can tell I've used this on red before because red always kind of stains your stamps. They still work just fine, but it does make that kind of pinkish color on there. Purples will do that too. All right, so we're going to use Mango Melody for the centers because usually the centers of oranges are quite vibrant. So I'm just going to stamp that really, really well. So Mango Melody is not a color that I used very often until the mini catalog came out in January. Maybe you can let me know if you've used much of the Mango Melody yourself, but I've been using it in a lot of things lately, and especially with this citrus set because it's such a nice vibrant color. All right, I'm going to try to line these up. Now they don't have to be exact. You just want them all inside the lines, but honestly it's very forgiving, so you don't have to worry that much. And you'll find probably as you use this stamp that it's going to be different every time. And that's totally fine because citrus fruit actually does look different one from another. So you can see it's all inside the lines and it looks just fine. You don't have to fuss too much about lining it up. I taught a class with this bundle last week and I think people were getting just a little bit stressed out about trying to line them up. But as you can see, you don't have to have them lined up exactly, and it still looks very, very nice. So you don't need to worry too much about that. All right, so I've got that done. Now you can see what I also did here was I stamped 3 sets of these leaves. And to do the leaves, I used Pear Pizzazz. So that's what I'm going to use again. So we'll open that up right now. And I'll get the leaves out. So this is our little leaf stamp. So that can go just on a regular block. And I'm just going to stamp it 3 times. So you can just put that right into the ink pad. And this Pear Pizzazz color has been quite nice. I know I used it a lot when the peach stamp set was out, which is now gone. Although I think it might be available on the clearance rack still. It was last time I checked anyways. And the Pale Papaya is just the right color for peaches. So there's a tip for you if you want to look in the clearance. You might still be able to get the peach stamp set. And these colors are just perfect with it. All right, so I cleaned up my stamp. And now, what else do I need to do here? Okay, so next I will want to stamp Have a Zesty Birthday. So let's get that one out as well. And I'm using a background paper here of Pale Papaya, and I'm stamping in Pear Pizzazz. So I'm just going to move that out of the way. Now, since this is a fairly long greeting, oops, I'll put it right side up. I'm putting it down so that I can actually read the letters. So you can see it's right side up and you can read it. And I'm just going to use my block to pick it up. I think I'll put it diagonally. And I do that simply because if you just kind of place it on your block, it kind of arcs sometimes or isn't quite straight. This way, it'll stay in a straight line for you. So that's just a little tip that I've found helps me quite a bit. So here's my Pale Papaya, and I'm just going to use that. All right, I'm just going to see if I can swipe left here. Nope, my phone's not letting me do it. Okay, well, I will check the comments later. You just never know with technology, do you? Oh well, that's all right. So I'm just going to stamp this right in the middle. All right. And there it is. So the green looks very clear on that color on the Pale Papaya, which is very nice. And now that's all we need our stamp set for. So I'm just going to move that to the side. And what I'm going to do here is make these little chevrons on either side. So there's kind of these little arrows, just to fancy it up a little. You don't need a die or anything for that. You can just do it with your scissors. I'm using these paper snips, which are very nice and very precise. So let's see. Let's just cut in a little ways because I want room to put an embellishment on the end of the sentiment there. So, okay, I just need a little millimeter more of a cut there. There we go. And let's do the same on the other side. So we just cut in slightly and then cut into the middle. And again, this doesn't have to be exact either. You can kind of make it up as you go. You could measure it, but I find usually you can kind of just eyeball it and make it work out. So there you go. Perfect. Just what we need. All right, so the next thing we need to do then is to cut out all our pieces. So we have to cut these guys out. And you can see we used a circle here as well. So we also need this circle cut out. And I'm just going to use the little mini machine for that. I'm not sure that they list these dies as being able to be used with the mini machine. The embossing folder that comes with them is not able to be used with the mini, but these are just exactly the size that you can use with the mini. So that's what I did before, is I used them. So I'm just going to move my ink pads out of the way here and fold down the plates. And I think what I'll do as well is just cut off this part because that's going to be too big to put in the machine. And we'll see if this will fit. Yes, it only just fits, but it's perfect for the size. Okay, so to use the mini machine, I'm just going to get the plates out here. So we need plate number 1, 2 plates number 2, and then we'll sandwich the die and the paper between. So here's a plate number 1. Here's plate number 2. You can see I've used this as a cutting plate a lot of times, so I always keep this one on the bottom so it gets all those cuts. And this one's relatively clear so that it doesn't transfer the cut marks onto my image. That's why I use the same one on top every time. So let's put that on. There, we'll put the paper on. And now we're going to arrange this large die. And like I said, it just fits in the mini machine. So it's just perfect for that. And actually, we're not using this, which would be a lemon. So we can just arrange the others to suit ourselves. But that looks pretty good. Now that's going to move. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit of washi tape. So I just had some spare washi tape here. Just any will do. and it's pretty low tack sort of tape. So if you just kind of tape it down in a couple of places, then that will stay where you put the die and your image will come out better. So let's try that. Here we go. So I'm going to just crank it through. If you've never seen a mini machine before, what helps is, as you can see with my hand here, I'm standing above the machine and pushing down so that the pressure keeps the machine in one place. It does have little gripper feet on the bottom, but I'm using it on a piece of paper here, and so the grippers are not going to be all that effective. I find that helps even when you have it straight on a table. It just works better. Oh, I guess I'll need that for another thing, so we'll just leave that out. So here's all our little images. Now, I'm not going to use that one, so I'm just going to discard it. But here are our oranges in Pale Papaya and Mango Melody. So, oops, and I just had it off the edge there, so I'm just going to cut that edge of my die cut there, and it comes right out. There we go. So we have all those. And next, what I'm going to need is to cut out all these little leaves. So helpfully this stamp set and die set comes with 2 sets of the leaf dies. So you can do 2 at once, which is really nice. That saves you time, especially if you're making multiple cards. And I'm going to just use a little bit of washi to stick those down as well. With one, I might try it without putting the washi on, but since I've got 2 of them at once, I'm not sure they'll stay in the same place. So I'm just going to stick them down there and make sure they don't move. So there's that one. And just a little bit of tape for another one as well. So you can just arrange those. And again, the dies are pretty forgiving. You don't have to have them exactly on. I think that there can be some variation when you place them down. And they're designed to not be, to not look funny, basically, if you have them slightly off. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Okay, so here's my 2 sets of leaves. There's 1, there's 2, and I have 1 more that I have to cut out. So I think I can reuse one of these pieces of washi and that will be just fine. We'll just use this one again and stick that right on. Okay. And I still can't swipe left for comments. Okay, well, I'll check the comments later. That's all right. Technology is always interesting, but that's okay. We'll look later. Okay, so this will be the last one of our leaves, and then I just need to die cut my circle out of Pear Pizzazz cardstock. Okay, so there's my last set of leaves. Very good. And what I'm using to cut my circle out is this largest circle of Stylish Shapes dies. And I have found these to be so useful because they're all these nested circles and then nested squares and then these labels. And you can just use them for so many different things. They're just very, very useful. And they all work in the mini machine. So that's a helpful thing to know as well. All right. I should mention too, for demonstrators only, the pre-order from a select number of items in the brand new annual catalog that only comes out for customers later in May, the pre-order has started for demonstrators as of today. So if you want to get in on that pre-order, I'd be happy to have you join my team. It's $135. You get to select $165 worth of stuff, including all kinds of stuff from the new catalog today. And that includes a lot of new color items because they've done a major color refresh and about a quarter of our core colors have changed in the new catalog. And so getting in on that early and making sure that there's no out of stock items is really fantastic. So we're really glad to do that as demonstrators. So if you're interested in joining my team, do let me know. You can go to juliescraftaddict.com and you can look at Creative Cafe, which is the name of my team, and it gives all the different benefits that you get from joining as well. We have a lot of fun together, and my team stretches from southern Alberta to northern Labrador. So it's a really interesting group of people from all over, and I really like that about it. Okay, so let's go ahead and start assembling this card. So let me get these pieces in the right place here. Here they all are. And what I'm going to do first is just show you how you do this bookbinding fold so you get this effect. So what I did was I took a piece of cardstock and I cut it down the long edge in half. That's what I did. So this is 4 1/4 by 11. And then I used my scoring tool to make 2 score lines. So one is at 5 1/2 and the other's at 4 1/4. So that's all it took. So we're just going to fold it in half to get our card folded here. And then we just need to fold it one more time, and that's on that 4 1/4 line. Okay, so we're just going to bend it back, and I'm going to use my bone folder again to give it a nice crisp fold. Okay, and you could put a ribbon through all the way around here and then stick it down, but I'm just going to put a little piece of ribbon here. And so what we can do is just adhere this portion right away. And what I'm using to do that, to make sure it sticks down really nicely, is this tear and tape. It's super easy to use, and I'll just show you what I do. So I'm just putting one on either side of this little interior fold, and you just rip it, so that's why it's called tear and tape. And I'm going to put another one on this side of the fold, and we'll rip that as well. And then we'll just take off the backing here, and we'll get that set up. Okay, so I'm just going to press that down really well, and now we have our bookbinding fold card. So like I said, if you wanted to, you could put a piece of ribbon in around there and just tie it here, but I'm just going to use a little length of ribbon and not tie it all the way around. Okay, so now we're going to put some paper on there, and I'm using a retiring paper, which I like very much, and it is called Rain or Shine. And if you looked at my blog in March, or if you go there now and just do a search on playing in the rain, you should be able to actually just search for the word rain in the search function. You should be able to find my card of the month from last month, which was with this particular bundle and suite. And so I'm using this side of the paper, but on the other side you see these iridescent sort of, or glossy, I guess, they're not iridescent, glossy umbrellas. So I'm going to put that on there. And there's this paper or this paper. So today we're going to be using this one. And this is a really nice paper. It also comes with all kinds of cute little turtles and other animals with umbrellas that are playing in the rain. And it's just an absolutely sweet group of products. It's so cute. So if you're interested in any of those products, in any of those papers, the stamps and dies, I believe, are not retiring, but the paper definitely is. So now's the time to get it before it sells out, because they will not be restocking any of the retiring items. Okay, so there we just stuck on our little pieces there, and I'll have all the measurements and everything for you on my website later today. I'll have a link to it right in this post if you want to come back and look for that. So now let's just piece together all the different bits that we have left. So let's just kind of see how it's going to play out. So I think I'm going to put that one on first. So I'll just put a little bit of Stampin' Seal in the middle. Oh, and a hint about Stampin' Seal, if you need any refills, they are on low inventory right now. So I would get there as quickly as you can, because everybody is ordering a bunch of stuff today. Demonstrators all over the world are ordering from the new catalog and from the sale as well. So it would be good to get there as soon as you can if you need those refills. All right, so that's where that's going to go. And I think I'll just stick that on. So I'm going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals to put that on. And I just have these little pieces left, but those are just fine. They work as well as the big pieces. So I just use all of them. You might as well get your money's worth, right? And use all the separate bits. Okay, and there's another one. Okay, and I'd like a little bit there in the middle too, so I'm going to cut a little bit off the edge of these mini dimensionals here. Okay, so here we go. Oh, another thing to know about the new catalog coming out in May is that the prices are unfortunately having to be raised. So we know from every industry in the world, basically, with inflation hitting hard, everyone's had to raise their prices, and Stampin' Up! Tried to avoid that for as long as they could, but they can't sustain the difference any longer. So if you need basics like cardstock and inks and all of these things, adhesives, get them now to get them at the current prices, because many will be going up in the new catalog. Okay, let's see how we want to arrange this now. All right, so I had these kind of aside like that, and then I had these different things in the back. So I like to arrange them first before I stick them down, because I don't really know what I'm aiming for until I sort of play with them a little bit. The thing to remember on this is just to make sure your leaves don't go over the edge of that fold, or they'll bend when you open the card. So that's just a good thing to kind of note. Okay, so I think I'm ready to stick these down. So I'm just going to hold that. And I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to use tape, regular household tape, to stick that down. I'm just going to hold it in place and stick the edges down. I don't need quite all of that tape, so I'm going to take that off. I just find that is a quick and easy way to adhere it, and then you can try it and see if it's what you want. So let's see if it's what I want. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, and then this one as well, I'm just going to turn it over. I'm going to put a little tape on that too, just like that. And now what I'm going to do is just put some Stampin' Seal on the back of that little piece. You don't need a lot, and it will still stay really nicely stuck for you. So let's see if we can just kind of arrange these to look attractive. Okay, that needs to move over so that I don't have my leaves in the wrong place. There we go. That should stick very nicely. This one, I'm just going to use a little bit of Stampin' Seal as well. You could pop them up if you wanted to, of course. But I'm just going to pop up the final one. So I'm just going to put these on as they are first. And then I'm going to add this kind of at a bit of an angle to sort of add some interest there. And again, I'm going to just cut a little piece off the edges. And I think that should stick it down just fine. You don't need a lot, and it'll stay on nicely for you. All right, and I'll stick it to the side like that. Perfect. So now all we need to do is embellish. You can see it's a really easy card to put together. Once you know where to put the score lines, it's actually really simple to make a bookbinding fold card. So we need, I'll move this over, and we need the ribbon, and we need a couple of our embellishments. And everything I've used except for the stamp set is retiring. So the ribbon is also retiring. So I have the Pale Papaya 3/8 of an inch open weave ribbon. And this is what I have left. That is it. That's all I've got. So hopefully that'll be enough for my little bow here. If not, I will find something else to put on it. But I thought I had a little more left than that, but it turns out I was almost out. So I'll try to make a little bow here as small as possible, because that's all I've got. So let's see if we can get it to work for us. I think it's going to play with us. That's good. So I just twisted it over a little bit, and that's going to look pretty nice, actually. That's even the right size. Look at that. That was not planned. That was luck. But there you go. So there's our little bow. And if you're wondering how I did that, I'm just going to show you with another piece of ribbon. This is another one of the retiring ribbons. Actually, yeah, I think this one is too. This is the Fresh Freesia. Fresh Freesia is turning into a core color, but the ribbons are going away. So here's what I did. I used the bunny ear method to make my bow. So I made a bunny ear there. I just went straight across my ribbon and made another bunny ear. So that's all I've got. Then I'm putting one bunny ear over the other, the left one over the right, through the hole and pulling. And then you can hold this centerpiece and make the bow as big or as small as you wish. It takes a little practice to get it, but it's the most successful method I've ever found of getting a decent looking bow. Like, look at that. And it also means that it's pretty flat there in the middle. So if you like to mail your cards, it shouldn't add extra bulk to them that'll make them oversized or overweight. So that's the bunny ear method. I was really happy to find that online a couple of years ago, and I wish I had seen it a long time ago. All right, so I'm going to use a mini glue dot to stick that on. Now these mini glue dots, I believe, are going up in price with the new catalog, so stock up on those now while you're shopping the sale, because they will be more expensive later. All right, I'm just going to try to put this in the middle. I don't often measure all these things while I'm making a card. I measure the pieces ahead of time, but not when I'm making. But this time I want it basically in the middle, so I'm using this center line of my graph paper, grid paper, to do that. So that is a retiring ribbon, and now I'm going to put on a retiring embellishment. And I was actually surprised to see that these are retiring. These are the Champagne Rhinestone Basic Jewels. And I can tell you, I have used these a lot. They are so helpful because they match almost everything. So I really like these little guys. I'm just going to put a couple on here to give it a little bit of extra bling. Here they go. Let's see if I got that straight. I think that one's not quite. So I'll move that up just a little. There, that looks pretty good. And there is our card. So again, using all retiring products that will no longer be available as of May 2nd. So get them while you can. The only thing that is not retiring out of all of this is the Sweet Citrus dies and the Sweet Citrus stamp set, but all the colors, the DSP in the background, the ribbon, the embellishments, the cardstocks, all of it will be gone as of May 2nd. So once again, if you want to check out the sale, you can go to juliescraftaddict.com, and there's a shopping link there that will take you to the website. I'll also be putting a shopping link right in this post as soon as I can after the broadcast. So you can just click on that. It will have my host code already added. And if you shop with me or sign up for one of my classes through April 6th, you will receive a free card class by mail. So I will give you the supplies for 3 cards. You just add the stamps and the ink. And I will also give you the instructions, of course, for those 2. So I would be happy to say thank you to you in that way, because it makes a huge difference to me when anybody orders anything. And so I'm just so grateful to all my customers for supporting my small business. I'm just coming up to my 2nd anniversary in May as a demonstrator, and it's been so much fun. And so thank you so much for supporting me through your purchases and your class purchases as well, and just by being part of my crafting community. I appreciate it so much. So thanks so much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the card today, and have a wonderfully crafty week. Bye for now.